Hello, future physios, and welcome back to another episode of the PhysioSchool Podcast, your guide to becoming a physiotherapist. My name is Anthony Pinto da Costa, and as usual, I'm joined with my legendary co-host, Mr. Cash Mahdi. Cash, what's going on today, man?
Nothing much, buddy. How's life?
I'm good. As you know, I took the acupuncture and dry needling course this week, and I'm not going to lie, the traps are feeling a little heavy, but I think I'm going to have a pretty wicked sleep tonight.
Nice, nice. So you're gonna be an AccuMaster soon.
See, we got to start somewhere. We got to start somewhere. What about you, man? What's going on?
Nothing
Not much?
much. Just living life. Nothing special. Same old thing. COVID life. Stuck at home. Not really doing anything. We got some snow here in Niagara. So gotta go shoveling pretty soon. But otherwise, nothing much. Same old, same old.
Solid, man. I love it. Well, as you guys know from previous episodes, one of our main goals of this podcast is to spotlight the various PT programs in Canada. So today we're going to be continuing our tour throughout the prairies. Last week we were in Manitoba, and today we're making a stop in Saskatchewan to interview Mr. Holton Charters, who is a first-year physiotherapy student at the University of Saskatchewan. So Holton, how's it going today, man?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
We're doing well, man. We're doing well.
That's
Thanks for
good.
taking the time to do this. You know, we got off to a weird start because of the time change, but we figured it out, which is good.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome, man. So, do you want to just start off with a brief introduction? You know, tell the people who you are, where you're from, your name, your age, where and when you did your undergrad, and if you got a fun fact, you can toss that in too.
For sure. Yeah. So my name's Holton Charters. You don't very see many Holtons out there, so just to add that into perspective. I'm 23 years old. I'm born and raised in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I did my undergrad as well in University of Saskatchewan with a health studies degree. It emphasizes health in the context of the development of like the human being and the biosystems levels, the level of human health experience. So that's kind of what I did my undergrad in. And fun fact is, I have a twin brother named Hunter, and he's actually at the University of Saskatchewan dentistry program.
Oh, very cool. You guys got the health basis covered. You got the teeth
Yeah.
covered. You got the body covered. The family's well taken care of.
For sure.
So I got a question before we begin. So I noticed that you've been saying Saskatchewan. Now I've heard Saskatchewan and I've heard Saskatchewan. So which one is the correct way to pronounce your province?
I think it is Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan is the correct
Oh.
one?
I think so, but I say Saskatchewan.
Okay. You know who else says Saskatchewan? Brock Lesnar. I don't know. Fun fact. So Anthony, you had a fun fact on a prior episode about where was it? It was with Gracia. Where's
Yeah,
Chatham, Ontario?
yeah.
Chatham, Ontario. Well, Saskatchewan is home of Brock Lesnar. I don't know if you knew that or not, but
Did
that's
not
where
know
he
that.
lives. Yeah. He moved to Saskatchewan. That's how he pronounces it. And I was like, is this guy saying the province wrong? But I heard you say it now, and I had to take a double take. I'm like, am I
That's
saying it
awesome.
wrong then? But I guess it's Saskatchewan.
Maybe I could be saying it wrong too. I don't even know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so you are a U of S PT student. Now, I want to know why you decided to go to U of S for PT school.
So I chose U of S because I went to undergrad there, and then all my close friends and family were around here, so I didn't really want to move too far away. So that's basically why I chose U of S.
Did you
Nice.
apply? Did you apply to like any other programs?
I actually didn't. No, I had some friends who did, but I just decided I wanted to do University of Saskatchewan.
All in.
Yeah,
You
all
got to go
in.
all in on one. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that. That's confidence right there for sure. That's awesome, man. So, I know you're in first year right now. So you probably know, obviously, the first semester you went through, and now you're going through the second semester, but you obviously haven't experienced the second year yet. I'm sure you have looked ahead. So maybe can you just provide a brief overview of the program to your knowledge? Maybe you go into how the semesters are organized, when the placements are, how many placements there are, and just the general length of the program.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm 100% correct on these, but I'll give it my best shot. The MPT program is 11 of the 12 months of the year, and it's 2 years and 6 weeks total. So the curriculum is made up of 10 modules of varying lengths. And then there's the normal semesters. So from September to December, semester 1, and then January to April, semester 2. And then for semester 3, it would just be spring classes. So it'd be April to June, end of June. And then July, we usually have a placement. And then we have, it's a 5 to 6 week placement.
Mhm.
And then we have 3 weeks off after that. And then our second year starts. Regarding the second year, there's going to be another 3 placements in the second year. I'm not sure exactly what happens in the second year. I've done a little bit of research, but basically you have classes until December, and then you have another placement from January to March, and then another placement right after it from March to June, and then you have more classes, and then you end the program off with another 6-week placement.
Gotcha.
So
If
what
that makes sense.
courses did you guys take in your first year? So in the first year so far, what courses have you guys and what areas of practice have you covered?
So we've covered anatomy. We covered now we're doing neuroanatomy right now. We did foundations, like physical therapy foundations, which is just like range of motion, manual muscle testing, and that stuff. So that's basically what we've covered so far. Oh, and then like pathology and research based like stuff like that.
Cool. Now, in your program, do you guys have people who are out of province? And for those who are out of province, how do they get their acceptance or how can they apply to the University of Saskatchewan's PT program?
All right, yeah. So from our program, there is some residency requirements. So technically, no, but there is people who are from out of province originally, and then they moved to Saskatchewan to take their undergrad or finish their master's degree, and then they could apply for U of S. But they're also Yukon and Northwest Territories and Nunavut. I'm pretty sure you have a special chance to apply as well without residency requirements.
Okay, so the way I understand it is if you're out of province, you can't directly apply to U of S unless you are a resident of Saskatchewan for a period of time. And typically people do that by doing either an undergrad or a master's program at U of S or another university in the province, and then they apply to U of S PT, correct?
Yeah, correct. Awesome.
Perfect.
And I just wanted to backtrack here. So I know you're going to, or you started physio school and during COVID times. Like, how much of an effect has that had on, interaction with classmates, and how much has been online? How much has been in person? Can you kind of walk us through that as well?
Yeah, for sure. That's a good question. So the year before us, it impacted them a lot. It was like all online, but for our year, it was hybrid. So we had our most of our classes online, except for our labs, were always in person. And then now we're slowly transitioning to all in-person classes.
Gotcha. And is how's the social aspect? Like, you guys getting together
Oh,
like
yeah.
after school and everything like that, like getting to know the class, or is it still there's still some unfamiliar faces? Like, I know it's a pretty small program, but where are you guys at with that?
Yeah, that's I forgot to answer that one. So there's 40 of us, and I'm actually a part of the social committee of like the PTS society. So I organize like social gatherings and stuff. So we're pretty close actually. I get to know like everybody in my program, which is
That's
awesome.
solid. Yeah, 40 is a tight knit group, so I feel like, yeah, by the end of the 2 years, you guys will be all locked together for sure. I wanted to ask a question just about a component of the U of S PT application process. So we understand that U of S requires a personal statement / letter of intent, which entails answering a question in 100 words or less that relates to the applicant's desire to be a PT and or attend the MPT program at U of S. So given that obvious stringent word limit, and kind of the vagueness of that requirement. Do you have any helpful tips for applicants to prepare for this component of the application? And I know, you sign that non-disclosure agreement and everything, so don't give away, too much, obviously, but just general tips that you have for anybody who's applying.
Yeah, that's a good one. So for mine, it was part of the application process. I think it's worth like 10% for your admission process. But regarding like helpful info, just knowing like the physical therapy mission for this, like at a certain university you're applying for, and applying those personal values into your message would be helpful. Also, I brought in personal experience. I think that would help you from what you've done before, and adding that into the message. Yeah, just try to make it stand out. Like, don't just have a very normal message, I guess, and just try to connect with the people that are around there. Like for U of S, there was kind of rural places as well as indigenous communities, so I made that a clear message in mind.
For sure, yeah. And did you, before you wrote it, like your actual response, did you have some notes jot down or like some pre-written answers, and then you kind of just took things together and put it into one answer, or did you just go for it?
Yeah, so I think there was like a certain time limit that we had. I think it was like an hour or 24 hours or something like that. I don't exactly remember, but I just kind of went for it and then made sure it was like perfectly 100 words because you can't go anymore or else
Yeah,
they'll dock you. So I had like 110 and I had to take some stuff out. So just trying to make it clear and concise.
gotcha.
Nice. Now, you also mentioned that in your letter of intent or statement that you wrote about your own experiences. So, did you have any PT or non-related PT experience that you think helped you either decide to go into physiotherapy or helped you with your letter to get into physiotherapy?
Yeah, for sure. So I didn't have too much PT experience. The only thing was just like getting treated by a PT. When I was younger, I broke my ankle. So I required rehab with my ankle. So that just kind of directed me into why I kind of wanted to be in physio. I kind of looked into it. Regarding the personal like experience outside of PT, I was a program leader for the city of Saskatoon. So I coordinated events and stuff and worked with lots of kids and did activities. So I kind of incorporated that and showed my compassionate and leadership role.
And
Nice.
oh, sorry, go ahead, Cash.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Go
I was just
ahead.
going to ask, like, do you find that those experiences that you had prior to PT school have helped you in any way in PT school so far? I know you haven't had placement, so maybe you'll notice more of an effect there, but anything that came up right now that maybe you wanted to discuss?
Well, yeah, I haven't really done a placement yet, but I agree. Like just dealing with people and like interacting with people have helped me in my jobs, and I think it'll further help me in my career.
Yeah, it's a very person-oriented career for sure. So I think that'll bode well for you. Um, so next thing I wanted to ask you about. So I know the Casper is also part of the U of S application. Everybody loves the Casper for sure. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about your experience with the Casper test, and if you have any tips for anybody doing the Casper as well?
For sure. Yeah, Casper was really interesting because when we applied the year before, I didn't apply the year before, but everybody was saying that it was just MMI. So this was the first year with just Casper. So that was interesting. But for me, I actually went on Google and YouTube and like searched up a bunch of stuff before I went into it. And the funny thing is, I came across your guys' channel.
Oh, nice.
Your one of your YouTube channels talking about, I think, Casper or something, or about the YouTube. But it was pretty funny because that's how I followed you guys. Um, anyways, yeah. So for that, there's an option to pay for Casper tests. I didn't do that option because didn't want to spend the money, but there was a couple of people in my class that did, and that which really helped you go through the motions and take the test and under the time pressure, and then give you the answers back.
Mhm.
So that was a good option. But for me, I just use YouTube. I use lots of sample questions. I had kind of like a scenario, like a procedure I did. So there's a problem, and then I evaluated both the perspectives, gathered all the information. So I always went through the same process as I was going through each question, which helped me. And also just typing under time pressure. I'm not the best typer, so I had to continually practice typing fast because you need that on the Casper.
Yeah, I find
I think that's it
simulating is definitely the key there.
for sure.
Did you find that it was like more of a test of your typing speed, or did you find that you got some of those thoughts across that you wanted to get across?
I think I'm a pretty slow typer, and I still was able to get all my thoughts across. So I don't think it's not necessarily like that bad, but like it's definitely helpful to be a fast typer.
Solid.
Yeah.
Now, besides everything you mentioned, do you have any other tips for anyone else who wants to apply to U of S?
Um,
And they can just be general, just anything that comes to mind.
not regarding Casper.
It could be regarding Casper or
Okay.
your letter of intent, anything that now, having gotten into physiotherapy school at U of S, that you could tell future students or even your old self.
Awesome. Yeah. One of the things is don't be discouraged if you don't get in your first time applying. Like many people get in their first, second, third times, and just to take those failures and turn it to success. As well as just try applying other places. Just because you don't get in one spot doesn't mean you can get in somewhere else. One of my friends is couldn't get in here, and he's across in London taking his physical therapy program. So that was really interesting. But yeah, just always be positive and never give up. Really,
Awesome.
I
And
love
is
it.
that London, Ontario or London, England?
London, England.
London, England. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually
Yeah.
thought Ontario, but yeah, good thing I got it clarified. Yeah. So if you
Yeah,
don't get in, there's always other places, right?
for
And so
sure.
you mentioned that some people in the program, like right now in your cohort, they took multiple tries. So do you have a decent amount of mature students in your program as well?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have some older people in our classrooms. There's a couple 30-year-olds, but the average age is probably around 24, 25. But yeah, there's definitely lots of people who it took a while or they took a break from school and then they wanted to come back. But yeah, it's definitely a different age demographic for sure.
I don't appreciate you calling 30-year-olds old. We're really young.
Young 30-year-olds.
Yeah, young. Us young 30s.
No, I love that because yeah, people. It's good for people to know that. That's why one of our first episodes our first episode with a guest on this podcast was about mature, like being a mature student in physio school. Because yeah, I feel like a lot of people maybe think it's just a bunch of kids who go straight from undergrad into it, but it's definitely a mixed bag for sure. So that's definitely good to know.
Yep.
Another question I had for you was, I know you're not too far into the program yet. You're almost done that first year, but how has your experience been so far? Has it been what you expected? Has it exceeded expectations? Is it, exactly what it is, exactly what you thought? Where are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a good one. It's been really busy. So yeah, lots of studying, but it's been really fun as well. Like you're getting to know everybody. You get a good interaction with your classmates. Everybody's pretty like smart and everybody wants to succeed. So there's no really that much competition compared to undergrad where everybody's trying to get into certain spots and places, right? Everybody's in here together and trying to succeed. So that's really good with that aspect, as well as you get to know your class or your professors. Well, when I was an undergrad, we had like hundreds of people in classes, and you didn't really ever get to meet your professor. Whereas in this program, you get to talk to them lots and ask them any questions. So that's really good. Um, but yeah, just regarding the content, yeah, I expected it. I expected it to be like pretty busy and lots of studying. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you find that it's like an exponential like tick in busyness and studying compared to undergrad? Or do you think it's like undergrad kind of prepared you a little bit for it?
Yeah, I'd say undergrad prepared me for it. Just finding that balance between studying and doing things you like to do, and exercise and stuff that keeps up with your physical and mental health. Just trying to balance that. I found it's a little harder, but yeah, it's undergrad prepared me pretty well.
Now, backtracking to your undergrad, what did you do in your undergrad as your major?
So my major was actually health studies. So I
Mm.
looked at social sciences and like sciences, and I took all of them. Um, that's basically what I did. My minor was psychology.
And do you feel that that prepared you for physiotherapy school, or do you think that it's uh, quite a change for you in terms of the content and based on your background?
Yeah, it definitely helped me prepare decently for physical therapy school. I did take anatomy before and neuroscience, so that helped me with that aspect. But the best route that most people took in my program was kinesiology, and I'd say that prepares you a little bit better for physical therapy.
Now, one unique thing about U of SPT is that you guys have a strength and conditioning course. And I think that's pretty unique. I don't think many other programs, actually, I don't know of any other programs that offer something like that in PT school. Have you done that course yet? And can you let us know a little bit about it if you've done any strength and conditioning inside your program?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we did have the opportunity to not too long ago, it was like a few weeks ago. We had the opportunity to learn some strength training in our therapeutic exercise portion for our physical therapy foundation class. Shout out to Professor Scotty Butcher. But I don't know if I said that correct, but so yeah, Scotty, he introduced us to the strength training, and he has a friend at Synergy Strength gym. So we all had a road trip there, and they taught us how to teach, assist, and actually do like deadlifts, shoulder press, squats, bench press, hip hinges, and just going through the motions and knowing what to do, the techniques. So that was really fun, and I found it very interesting.
Very cool. Now, I know that Anthony and I, whenever we see Scotty's Instagram posts, we always get jealous that U of S students have that course. I made up for it, though. I took a Scotty Butcher course postgraduate studies. So I took a course of his and it was really great. So, for anyone out there, PTs or PT students, if Scotty Butcher ever does come to town to teach his course, I highly recommend it. Great course. You guys are lucky. You get it for free.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's one on my short list for sure in the future. So I know you've been in Saskatchewan for a very long time. Can you maybe just shed some light on what it's like living in Saskatchewan for maybe somebody who's going to come into the program who hasn't lived there for as long as you?
For sure, yeah, I've lived here all my life, so I know it pretty well. Um, One thing I can say, it's pretty cold most of the time of the year. I'm not going to complain though. It's probably not as bad as like Winnipeg or something or up north, but it is pretty cold, so you got to be prepared for the weather. But during the summer, it's very warm and hot, um, and humid. So it's a big change. Everybody loves summer and everybody's in a good mood. So that's something to look forward to. Regarding nature, it's very beautiful landscape. We're kind of known for the land of the living skies, if you guys heard that before. So we get to see the sunsets and sunrises all the time, and it's just awesome night horizons and stuff. It's beautiful to see. What else can I say? There's a smaller population here. I think there's just over 1 million people, so it's a little change from a big city. It has its benefits. It doesn't take very long to get around. Um, anyway, Saskatoon, that's where I'm from, but Saskatchewan in general, it's not too bad. It's pretty small. But yeah, I'm a pretty optimistic guy, so I like to see the good things in everything. So yeah,
I
And
know.
reasonable house prices as well.
Yeah.
Reasonable home
yeah.
prices.
I guess you
Someone.
guys are from Ontario for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts out here right now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say someone once told me just addressing like how flat it is there. They said there's a saying that you can see your dog running away for like 4 days in Saskatchewan. Is that true or is that a myth?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much true. Like once you go out of the cities, it's just flat everywhere you go. Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty different. Yeah, the thing that happened, like I took a geology course, and basically there used to be a huge lake that was over Saskatchewan. So now it's just dried up and it's just flatter than flat.
Wow. Wow. So and one other thing. I know you talked about how cold it is. Can you give us degrees? We need a numerical value here, just so that people know.
Uh, I'd say like the worst you can get up to is like -40. But yeah, it's constant. So it's
That's
like
still
we got
pretty
winter
brutal.
for about 6, 7, sometimes 7, yeah, about 7, 8 months a year. So you gotta be prepared to be cold, but you also have to be bundled up. And then just like the wind makes it even colder than what the temperature really is. So you got to be prepared for the wind as well.
Just a
Yeah, I've been down to
casual.
Saskatoon once and very windy, very cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, now let's move things back towards the PT realm. Now, I know you're only in first year right now and haven't really been exposed to all the different areas of practice and done placements in different areas of practice. But coming into PT school and right now being a few months, or I guess half a year in, what kind of PT do you want to be? Is there an area of practice that has really caught your attention, something that's caught your interest?
All right. Yeah. I actually very enjoy doing sports. I've grown up doing sports. I played football, soccer. I did track and field. So I've always loved doing sports, and I kind of incorporated that into my physio. So I've kind of leaned towards sports physio, but I also do have an open mind because I know I haven't done any placements, so I might fall in love with something else. So yeah, so I'm open minded, but I'm leaning towards sports physio.
Very cool.
Love it,
All right,
man.
Anthony, any other questions you got?
I think I'm good. I got all my Saskatchewan questions. I definitely wanted to ask those ones because not a province I've been to yet. I've been to Alberta, BC, but haven't been, and Manitoba actually. So I got to make a trip out there one time.
Nice.
Um,
Saskatchewan's the furthest west I've been so far, so hopefully I'll make it out past there.
yeah, man.
Awesome. Yeah, if you guys are ever in Saskatchewan, hit me up. We can do something, and I'll show you some Saskatoon or Saskatchewan fun.
There we go. We
So
got the
what is
invite.
Saskatoon fun? What's
Yeah.
the spot?
We got the invite. That's all that matters. Perfect. Well, Holden, is there anything else that maybe you wanted to mention to the listeners? There's a lot of people who will be listening who, want to be in your position right that you're in right now. So if there's anything else you wanted to get off your chest, go for it. If not, we're all good.
I could give a little bit of words of wisdom, I guess. Basically, just if you're trying to get into physical therapy, just it starts with your mind. Once you believe you can actually do it. That's like 50% of the job, right? So
Mhm.
the saying I say is your mentality dictates your reality. So if you believe you can get into physiotherapy and you keep saying that and daily affirmation, one day you'll be able to get in and live
That's a
your
mic
dream.
drop.
Yeah.
That's a mic drop right there. I think we can end it there
Yeah, I
unless
don't know
Cash
if we
has
can follow
anything
with
else.
that. No,
No,
can't
nothing.
follow that.
Perfect, man. Well, Holton, really, really appreciate your time tonight, man. This is going to be really helpful for a lot of applicants in the future, so they'll definitely appreciate it. All right,
Yeah.
guys. So if you like this episode, make sure to leave a 5-star review if you got some time. Make sure you can subscribe if you want to hear more episodes like this. And if you want to reach out to us, go into our show notes. We're on pretty much every social media platform you can imagine, and we're happy to chat from there. All right, guys, we will see you at the next episode.